Hi, I'm Kim.bard. In this short video, I present several problems with the databases that underpin current evolutionary and developmental theories of social cognition. These are the reasons why developmental scientists need to decolonize their studies to provide a more inclusive foundation for new theories of social cognition. There are a variety of theories of social cognition that posit differences between humans and apes in social cognition, or that aim to pinpoint types of social cognition that are uniquely human. For example, Baron-Cohen's model of theory of mind claims that the shared attention mechanism, a precursor to a theory of mind mechanism, is uniquely human. The cultural intelligence hypothesis by Herman and colleagues suggests that the human species excels in social cognition compared to the great apes. And with the shared intentionality hypothesis, Tomasello and colleagues claim that there's a human unique path to collaboration and that it's found in species differences in joint attention. But here we identify 5 major problems that undermine the claims made by these and other theories of the evolution of social cognition. Let's consider each in turn. So this slide illustrates one of the most frequently used comparative designs. In this design, 3 variables are systematically confounded. So first, you compare one sample of apes, one sample of humans on a test, say, of social cognition. If you find that the human group performs better than the ape group, the claim is that there's a species difference in social cognition. However, this design always has additional confounds. The apes are typically reared in institutions or sanctuaries, environments that are distinctly different from those that the human sample is reared in, which is typically a Western middle-class sample. Additionally, and so already you can't tell if it's species or early rearing environment or the interaction between the two that's responsible for any group differences that you find. Typically, this design also includes a third confound of age at testing, so that the apes are typically significantly older than the humans, which are almost always infants. So that this design does not isolate species as the cause for any group differences. The variable of importance could be the age of the groups, the rearing experiences of the groups, or species membership, or any of the two-way interactions, or in fact, the three-way interaction. So most theories of social cognition are based on data derived from this type of comparative design. So the first problem is this. The database, comprised of studies that compare one group of apes with one group of humans, with confounds of relevant experiences and age at testing, these studies do not isolate species membership as the cause of group differences. A second problem with past databases is that they ignore development in apes. The table on the left here lists theories. The 4 with stars indicate theories that consider development for humans, but ignore development in apes. For many years, we've known that joint attention success in even nursery-reared chimpanzees improves significantly from 5 to 12 months of age. Moreover, early experiences also impact joint attention success in chimpanzees, with the nursery-reared infants given more responsive care being significantly more successful in joint attention than infants given standard institutional care. Since both developmental change and changes due to early experiences have not been controlled in the foundational databases of the theories, it's likely that they have contributed to observed group differences. So the second problem with evolutionary theories is that they neglect development in the non-human comparison groups. When we think of development, we can consider variation in outcomes as a consequence of infants developing in different socio-ecological contexts. But most comparative theories ignore developmental change, Essentially, many comparative studies appear to have an assumption that genes alone determine cognitive outcomes because there's one phenotype that's said to be representative of the human species and one phenotype said to be representative of chimpanzee species. And that when these two outcomes differ, the claim is that it's legitimate to claim that there are species differences. In our study of joint attention in human 1-year-olds from the monograph, we found significant variations between our 3 human groups in at least one form of joint engagement characteristic. The table on the left, we found differences among the groups in types of triadic connectedness, in types of social partners, in types of shared topics, and in the partner's emotional tone. The figure on the right shows that the joint engagement phenotypes made of these predominant forms of each characteristic are different for each of the 3 human groups that we studied. So there are significant differences in joint attention across human groups, indicating that one sample does not adequately represent the human capacity in social cognition. Obviously, it's a problem if a theory about species capacity relies on a single sample. Similarly, in our study of variation across chimpanzee groups, the table on the left indicates differences in type of triadic connectedness, type of social partner, type of shared topic, partner's emotional tone, and also joint engagement initiator. The figure on the right illustrates what we found, that there are 3 different joint engagement phenotypes in our 3 samples of chimpanzee infants. Therefore, there are significant differences in joint attention across chimpanzee groups, indicating that one sample does not adequately represent the chimpanzee capacity in social cognition. Obviously, it's a problem if a theory about species capacity relies on a single sample. Therefore, past theories have arrived at erroneous conclusions. These conclusions have been based on poorly designed studies that don't isolate species as the variable that causes group differences. These databases also neglect developmental experiences, developmental change for the non-human comparison group. When the foundational studies neglect within species variation, both for humans and for the comparison ape groups, they don't capture species capacities. Therefore, we argue in the monograph that we do not actually know what we think we know because of the flaws in the databases. I have a second video where we highlight the benefits of using a new comparative design, the one that we used in our monograph. And we recommend these changes in study design to remedy the current situation with the problems in the database. This presentation is based on a monograph, which is available open access at this website, and part of the monograph series with information about our citation is here. Thank you for your attention.